Welcome to another episode of Zero Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I am so excited to have on a 25-year-old from Lancaster, New York, USA. His hockey journey has taken him to the USA, Canada, and England, a fifth rounder of the Omaha Lancers and eighth rounder of the Shelburne Sharks, a staple with Nichols Prep School, and ran amok of the New York State Triple-A loop, and then did the same with the Burlington Cougars and must have almost won it with those Cougars. He then dominated with the Jackalopes of Odessa. He is another Purple Eagle of Niagara and an NCAA All-Academic, and dipped his toe into pro hockey with the Cincinnati Cyclones, and is now spreading his hockey wings with the Manchester Storm as they prepare for a chocolate storm. Welcome to the shed, Zac Herrmann.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, nice to meet you. I get into how we know each other. Nice to meet
Oh
you.
yeah, there we
go. So I guess how we know each other though is I had your captain on Critch, and you guys won a big game then right after that, and there's some chocolate hit the ice, eh?
Well, yeah, I guess that's where it all started on the podcast here. So
Yeah.
as soon as I saw that chocolate on the ice, I think I got a DM right away from you.
Yeah, well, I saw a picture of you holding up a Kit Kat, and it warmed my heart from over here in the shed. So anyways, good job winning that game. And you guys just had a good weekend, eh? 2 wins in Belfast.
Yeah, it was a really good weekend. I think it was the first time, we got to see our identity as a group, and you know, playing over there and playing in that rink is tough. And we saw a stat after the game on Sunday that they haven't lost or been swept at home since 2017. So it was pretty cool to do that.
That is cool to do that. And you know what? The year I was in Cardiff, we played in an arena just like yours. It was called the Big Blue Tent in Cardiff. And we had a tough start to the year, and we were a bunch of new guys that all didn't know each other. And I would say it was around the end of November, start of December, that we just started to run amok. Did you know that? So I know what you mean by find your identity, because sometimes it takes a weekend like that to bring the boys together, right?
100%. Yeah, we have a pretty young group too. A lot of new pro guys, so everyone's been gelling and learning, try to find their pro game and their consistency. So it's kind of good to see, and excited to obviously keep building on that.
So who's next, you know?
We play Nottingham and then Coventry this weekend.
Any of them at home?
Yeah, we play Nottingham at home and then Coventry away.
Okay, folks, don't forget your chocolate. But if they don't win, you got to let it melt in your pocket, right? We only celebrate wins in the shed, right?
That's true.
And the other way I know you then is, well, I guess I had your captain on, and then you guys got into, like you said, a bit of a Donnybrook that night, eh? Against Sheffield. There's a bit of mucking around that night.
Yeah, you interviewed Ruddy too, and
he just left. I saw he's a Cyclone now.
Yeah, but yeah, so that was a crazy game. That was definitely the craziest game
you've seen
I've experienced being here. So yeah.
Okay, you mucked around with anybody yet this year? You fought anybody?
Oh no, that's not my style.
No, you're a lover, not a fighter, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too. So I have had on your coach, eh? Your rookie coach, Ginner. How's he doing? Is he mean?
He's not mean. No, he's awesome. Obviously it's his first year, so he's trying to make his impact on our group, and he's been good. I mean, he's learning and growing every day, just like we are, the rookies on the team. So
as a coach, you learn a lot your first season, man. Like how to run a practice, you know, how to deal with each guy. And then he's also dealing with your like young pros, right? And for me, it took me about, I don't know, it took me some time to adjust to pro. Everybody, I think, takes a little bit of time, but it would be hard for a new coach to have a bunch of young pros and be trying to learn himself as well as teach you guys, right?
Yeah, and I think too, like the weirdest thing for him would be that he was on the team last year and played with some guys that are still on the team. So like trying to find that level of coaching, friendship, like, so I feel like that would be the hardest thing for him, but he's been doing a great job.
I think it would have been really hard to decide which of his friends to have back this year. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I think that would be hard, but yeah, like I played for a player coach, so like it is part of the business though, you know?
Yeah.
But you can be friends with your coaches, folks. That's okay. And I've also had on the big cheese, the big dog, Finner.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's one of my leading scorers in the shed. Yeah. So does he come in, ever kick garbage cans, scream at you guys, or what's his deal? He coming around at all? No.
He comes around every now and again, but he just another one of the guys comes around, hangs out, talks.
Yeah.
Good guy
I
too.
like it. So what was your first thoughts when you saw the storm shelter?
I mean, I kind of expected it. When I signed there, I got some messages and stuff on Twitter saying, what are you gonna think of the rink? Blah blah blah. But I love it. I mean, it shows. Obviously, it's a little different than every other rink in the league, but when we pack that rink, it's really fun to play in because it's loud, and when we play there, we have the home ice advantage. Jeez, couldn't spit that one out.
It happens. No, but you're right. Like the rink we had in Cardiff literally was like the same rink. And and when it was the start of the season, we didn't have that many fans. Once you win a few games and you start packing it, it can get so loud and so fun to play in those little barns. It is so much more fun than playing in the really big arenas that are half full.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And then they're going to start chucking chocolate everywhere. It's just going to get crazy, isn't it?
How did that even come up? I didn't really listen to Critch's.
It's a long story, man.
It's a long story.
It's actually happened in well, we started throwing chocolate in Cardiff last year for the goalie after wins. He'd get Twix. And then I coached an under 11 team. So then we had Buenos for the boys that when they'd win, they'd throw Buenos on the ice for my under 11 Canucks in Cardiff, Wales, which made sense. And then that goalie now is in Denmark and they chuck Twix on the ice in Denmark. Sheffield had Kit Kat get that for Evan Mosey, who's just returning from his injury. So shout out to you, Mosey, for coming back. You'll be ready. Bet she's crushed a bunch of cheeseburgers in his time off. But anyways, yeah, they threw tons of Kit Kats last year in Sheffield, and then we got banned. Fun was banned in Sheffield because of the mess from the chocolate. So we've moved on to Manchester. I talked with Critch about it, and then he's a gamer. Went out, you guys win the game, and then fans were listening.
Yeah, there's nothing better after a win. You just scoop up whatever you see on the ice.
So nice. Do you have a favorite bar for the fans for when they come this weekend? Anything you're looking for?
That picture says it all. I'm a big Kit Kat guy. That's kind of why I wanted the picture.
You heard him, folks. Yeah, that's why we wasn't a real one chocolate bar because Critch said we're just going to make it a storm of chocolate, right? So I did get a picture of one of your last home games. A father sent me a picture of two teenage gals with like a poster that like spelt out a bunch of stuff about your team all in chocolate bars. It was awesome.
It's awesome.
So it is fun. Fun is fun, folks, when you're in your shed in Canada and you guys can throw chocolate bars for wins overseas, right? Go Storm.
100%.
Another guy on your team that's a confirmed shed guy is Ryan Barrow. I'm gonna have him on sometime too. You know,
he was telling me about it. Yeah,
he's a first year pro too, eh?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. See, I can talk to the young punks too, right?
Oh yeah.
So did you guys get to go out in Belfast after the 2 wins?
No, unfortunately, we didn't.
You shut your filthy mouth when you're talking to me. Really? That's disgusting. You guys should have.
We should have.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
should have ran amok. So what happened? Why did you guys not go out that night? I thought you're stuck there. There's no planes out till the next day.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, the only thing I could think of was that it was a 3-3 and it's kind of a long weekend, but
so this is at the end of the 3rd game in 3 nights.
Yeah.
So you'd worked hard 1-2 games and then it's
yeah.
I might have to talk to Ginner if this is how it's functioning. That's when you guys should get after it, you know? Just thinking out loud in the shed. Sorry. Okay. Well, That's sad to hear. But I did see when you guys got back, I think it was to Manchester, there were like fans waiting for you, eh?
That was in Belfast.
That was in
The
Belfast. That was cool,
Yeah,
eh?
we had a pretty good showing there, and obviously came out with two big wins. And after that second game, they were going crazy. So it's pretty
Well,
cool.
it is cool. And like the UK fans or something, eh? What are your first thoughts over there? Because like they do travel. Like there'd be Cardiff fans in Belfast and they gotta fly, they gotta get hotels. Like it's not a cheap hobby.
Yeah, the fans are amazing. Like they are so devoted to the hockey here, and I mean, we're trying to get more people into our games, and obviously we appreciate everything that our fans do, and they spend money to travel and come see and watch us play. Like, can't
Oh yeah.
complain about that.
No, and that's actually how you get so many people listening to the shed is because the UK fans are so passionate about the
Oh
players
yeah,
they watch, right? Like they do really like the hockey players, and they like getting to know you. They're not like, I don't know. I played for some teams where they didn't like want to get to know you as a person. They got really
yeah.
mad if you didn't play good, and they would cheer for you if you won. But other than that, they didn't really want to know who you were. In the UK, I felt like I had friends that were fans, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. That like before I got here, I never really used Twitter, and since I got here, I've just been so invested on it, just reading people's tweets. Like it's like they're literally my suggested tweets now, like just random people showing up on my feed. It's awesome.
It's hopefully they're being positive, right? Because there could be some negative Nazis out there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so anyways, better move on. So yeah, folks, bring your chocolate this weekend. It's gonna be a heck of a time in the shelter. Fun is fun. Poster picks. There was one of some dental work. What went on there?
It's a shitty story.
Is it a
My
puck
fourth
or
game.
no?
No, it's terrible. I wish it was something cool, but
Uh,
so it was my fourth game in Cincinnati last year, standing on the bench, getting ready to hop over the boards. D-man's coming. Didn't see guys coming up the boards. One of our guys hit the other guy on the bench, and his stick came around, hit me right in the face.
well, you're on the bench.
Yeah, I was like just about to hop over. I could just feel all my teeth in my mouth. It's pretty good awakening to pro hockey, I guess.
Yeah, because that would have been your start to wearing a visor too, right?
Yeah, well, restarting. Yeah, so
Yeah.
obviously I wore cage and stuff in college, but
Well, actually, that's
wore,
one of my questions for one of your poster picks. Because
oh yeah,
my freshman, sophomore year, I was a birdcage guy. Junior, senior year, I went with the fishbowl. Your poster pick, you're in a fishbowl, right?
yeah. I wore a bubble pretty much my whole life. Whenever I could, I couldn't stand looking out of a cage.
Once I switched, looking out of the bubble is way better. But if
Way
you
better.
breathe really heavily, it can get fogged up, which would happen to me.
Yeah.
And also, if like a guy stops in front of you and then all of a sudden it sprays on your shield, you can't
Oh
see
yeah,
right too,
that's
right?
that's an automatic. You got to get off the ice
Yeah.
if you can't see shit out there.
Yeah. Like there's nothing you can do. At least that doesn't happen with the cage, right? There's pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
I think if you're used to a cage, it's good. But once I went to the bubble, I couldn't go back to the cage.
Yeah, it's funny too. Like I don't know if they like back then when you were wearing them, but like bubble guys are considered like the skill guys, and the grinders or whatever wear the cages. Like on our
Oh,
team in school, it's so funny.
I didn't realize that, but it kind of made I switched to the bubble junior year, and I don't know. I liked it more, but tough to breathe in those things if you're a little overweight. Okay, next question. There's a bunch of pictures of you playing hockey on your poster, and I think you had a different number every time.
Yeah, it was
6, 12, 13, and you've been Manchester picks. There was number 5 with the kick cap, but then your other one, your mugshot, you're wearing number 10.
Oh yeah, I wear 54 this year. The
What?
the mug shot was obviously just
Everybody wearing the
pictures.
same one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, my number always growing up was 13,
Matt
and
Sundin or what?
no, it's I was huge into baseball. Like when I was younger, like I was gonna play baseball over hockey, and it was because of Alex Rodriguez actually.
A-Rod.
Yeah, pretty funny. But no, it's the first time I ever wore 54. Just wanted to do it for my dad. Like it's always his favorite number, and never really got the
54
chance to
was.
wear it. Yeah, kind of weird. He he was a huge Jeremy Roenick guy, and for whatever reason, when he was growing up playing, somebody.
So that's double 27.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at. Just took me a minute.
Yeah, no, sorry, my math brain's on today. I'm working. So somebody already had 27, so then he went with
Yeah,
54.
we just doubled it. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And that's a cool number to be wearing this year because not many people have ever worn 54, right?
Yeah, just the offensive lineman in the NFL, but
Right. Yeah. Okay. So what else do I got? Poster picks here then. The other pick of you and Niagara would have been your senior night with your folks then.
yeah.
Is that right? Yep. What was going on the arena there? It was all purple behind you. How could people even see the ice? Just
Yeah, it's so our rink at school it's one sided. It's not like a full bowl or anything. So it's pretty much
I've
like the
played
whole.
there. I've played the
Yeah,
Purple Eagles. Yeah, it is just one side, eh?
yeah.
Brutal.
So they obviously redid it. Like my freshman year was the same probably when you played there, all white everywhere, like pretty ugly. And then I think my sophomore year they did a bunch of stuff to it. Obviously had a new coach come in and he got to work on it.
Did you guys have to wear stickers on your helmets of claws? Do they still
No,
do that there?
I don't even know
No.
what that is.
Yeah. So the guys I played against at Niagara, it was like the Ohio State Buckeyes. You know how they get like
Oh, you get the
for like
yeah.
blocking a shot, the coach would give him a sticker. So then like Barrett Eggets would have stickers all over his helmet, and then the other guys would have like 5.
Yeah, he was a good player, that guy.
Yeah, so actually I have that written down. Was he came and met you guys. He's a shed guy. Episode 5.
Yeah.
He small world here. He lived with me in junior for a bit, but and we won the Southern Cup together. But he met you guys at Notre Dame last year, gave you guys a pep talk.
Yeah, I think that's probably why we won.
Well, how was his pregame speech? It probably wasn't as good as my pregame speeches. I guarantee it wasn't.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really remember. But...
Exactly. Exactly.
No, I don't remember too much about that stuff.
Do you know the last time I went to the Manchester shelter? I got naked and and hid in the bathroom of the away room, and the equipment manager locked me in there during warm-ups, and then I came out like a Viking naked and did a speech for the boys with an axe and a shield and a sword. So I bet you the boys remember that pregame speech, Barrett.
Yeah, you can't forget that one. He's a Cyclones legend too, isn't he?
He is a legend. He's a winner.
Yeah.
He is. You can't let appearances fool you. That guy is as big a gamer as they come, even with his club foot. Seriously, he was born with a club foot. His one leg's way skinnier than the other, and he's a legend with the Sugar Kings, the Purple Eagles, and the Cyclones. Yeah, winner. But hey,
decent player.
Yeah, and isn't he like in the Hall of Fame for the Eagles?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
Mm-hmm. So have you ever heard of Jeff Van Nijenatten?
I've not.
Really? Gosh, he's a legend of the Purple Eagles too. He was the goalie. Yeah, he would get in some trouble too, though. Have you ever heard of the house on campus called the Red Baron?
Yes, sir. Have
Really?
I ever?
Really?
Yeah.
It's still kicking around?
Oh, it's still kicking.
That I guess Natton, a couple alumni weekends just recently has stayed there, but yeah, I guess so. That stayed in the team since they played, and that would have been back around 2001. That's crazy. That is it still the hockey house then?
Yeah.
Oh my word.
It's definitely seen better days, but it's a good spot.
I can imagine it has been beat up over the years.
Oh yeah.
Did you live in it?
No, I did not.
No.
I couldn't. I'm pretty sure there's no door handle. The side door, I think, stays open all night, or I don't know. It's wild.
Yeah, I've heard about it. Okay, so moving on then. Christmas market open in Manchester yet?
Yeah, they've been open for a couple weeks now.
Gone down there, ate some food, ran amok yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
some good stuff.
What are you eating down there? Talk to me.
Got a
sausages
burger.
And shit.
Haven't got any sausages, no. Got one of these it's like almost like a turkey dinner and a wrap. I don't know, I can't remember what it was called, but it was pretty good.
I do know what you're talking about. Was there a little cranberry sauce up in there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then the mini Dutch pancakes, those are pretty good.
I didn't venture into that. Body type issue, I think. So there's lots to do though in Manchester.
Oh yeah, it's an unbelievable city.
Are you
It's
right downtown then?
yeah,
Sounds fun. Who, you got a roommate?
yeah. Jake Brickman.
Okay. So do you guys all live like near each other, all the guys?
Yeah, there's like two different towers here. None of us, I don't think, are maybe two guys are on the same floor, but we're pretty spread out throughout the apartments here.
Okay. Yeah, every team's different how that gets set up. So what else do I got then? So how did you end up in Manchester? How'd Ginner recruit you?
So my buddy I played with at school, Johnny Curran, he plays for Coventry. Kind of a weird story, but I texted him in the summer, was like, you have an agent, blah blah blah, all small talk, and he's like, yeah, I'll have my guy reach out. And he did, and he pretty much did all the work for me, and he was playing for Nottingham this year too, which is a pretty funny story. But
Who is the agent?
yeah,
Who
so
is
he's
it?
playing and working at the same time. It's pretty cool.
Huh. Oh, yeah.
So
So
he ended up getting in touch with Manchester, and obviously they were interested, and they sent me an offer, and
which guy
couldn't
is
say
it?
no. Andrew Johnson is his name.
Hmm. Don't know who that is. That's a cool story. I wouldn't mind having him in the shed to hear with about how he does that. You
I'll
know?
hook him up. I'll text him.
Yeah, do it. That's cool. I'm kind of like an agent in the shed now too. I get lots of texts from people all the time. It's wild. Yeah, I just had a big interview last night to become the AAA under 12 coach next season around here. Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Well, now I got to wait like a week to find out if I got it or not, you know? So see what happens. But anywho, it'd be fun for that guy though, even though he plays against you, is to know that he got you a job and like
Yeah,
changed your life and
exactly.
helped you out. Like when I get texts about helping players and reference checks and whatever it may be, when I can vouch for a guy and then I know he gets that job and goes there, God, it makes me so happy.
100%. Not even on the flip side of that too. It's like he's kind of newer into the business, and it's like it means a lot to him too if I came here and played well, like, so
Yeah.
it holds him accountable too, which is good.
Well, some of those agents that I saw around back when I was playing, a lot of them just didn't have that care for their players and they
Hmm.
just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's good that, yeah, the young guy would give a shit that's trying to get going. Okay. So growing up in Lancaster, New York, right? Is that where you're from?
Yes, sir.
How'd you get into hockey? I guess you're into baseball too, eh?
Yeah, I I got to the point where I obviously had to decide if I was going to play hockey or baseball, but my heart was always in hockey. When I was younger, my dad played, and we just play out in the driveway, play mini sticks, all that stuff. And then obviously once my brother got into the picture, him and I just fell in love with it because I actually had someone to compete with every day. And
How much younger
um,
is he?
he's 3 years younger.
Yeah. So he's playing too then, eh?
Yeah,
College hockey somewhere, it looked like. I had it written down, I thought.
yeah. He played the last 3 years at New Hampshire, UNH,
Yeah.
and then he transferred this year to Utica.
Okay. Where is Lancaster, New York?
It's about 25 minutes outside of Buffalo.
Buffalo. Okay. Not too far from my old stomping ground, Syracuse, New York, then, eh? Like an hour,
Oh,
maybe? Hour and a half,
like
2?
that's like 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Can hardly remember driving there. So how do you end up with this Nichols prep school? Where's that and what is it?
Nichols is like it was pretty much the only elite prep school in Buffalo. Um, Obviously, when I got to that point in my hockey career, I wanted to obviously go to a good school and eventually make it to college.
So
And
prep schools is the way to do that in the USA nowadays?
yeah, but I was obviously looking at other schools like in Boston and all that area, but I just wanted to stay home and go to school. And obviously, we had a great team there. I think there's 5 or 6 of us that played D1, and maybe 3 or 4 of us played pro. So
That's
we had a
pretty
good
good.
group.
Yeah. So you were there, what, 3 years? So are you living at home for this?
4 years. Yeah, living at home.
Living at home. Okay. So then how much ice time do you have per week going to a prep school? Because it's like a hockey school thing, right?
Yeah, we would skate every day. We had like a split season there, so we would play like 18U up until about November, and then we'd play in the CISAA, which is like the Canadian division. Play like St. Andrews, St. Mike's, all those teams.
The
So
prep
we were,
schools of like Toronto area.
yeah. So essentially, it was like a junior hockey season, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, because it said told the research team that you ran amok with the AAA Buffalo Saints the same year. So that's what makes sense then.
Yeah,
It's half
yeah,
prep school year, half AAA year then.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And it was nice because we had rink on campus, so we just skate and then go right to class.
So, oh, that does sound nice. Yeah, for a
Yeah.
hockey guy. um, so that same year though, research team was hot. You played for Team Columbia, which looked like some kind of USA program thing.
Yeah.
What's that?
So they have like select camps when you're under 17 or 17. That's the last year you can do it. To pretty much go like the best of the best from each region of the US,
Try out.
go and play.
Or
And
so it's a
it's in
tournament.
Buffalo. Yeah, it's a tournament. And then that's pretty much where they pick for the Ivan Holinka tournament. That's all it is.
So you basically made the team of the Buffalo, New York area then probably?
Yeah, of like New York State.
New York State. Well, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool, eh? One of the
Yeah.
guys on that team was that DeBrincat, eh? He's doing all right.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, he's okay. Was he as good back then?
Yeah, so when he got there, he was literally just figured out he's going to Erie. He was committed to UMass. But I was like, who is this guy? I've never even heard of him, didn't know
Yeah.
who he was. And he was so good.
Yeah, some guys can be like that when they get out on the ice. So how do you go from that season then to the Burlington Cougars? Let me guess. Some guy saw you playing in that prep school against one of the Toronto prep schools and then recruited you?
No, it's actually
Shoot.
I got this like the stupidest, like weirdest stories of ending up places, man, I swear.
Yeah, the
So
Burlington Cougars. That one kind of surprised me. I don't know.
yeah.
I was trying to figure out how you ended up there.
So I was gonna play for the Junior Sabres in Buffalo. It's in the same league. Went tried out there, didn't make it, got cut. And then like a couple weeks later, kid on my team was going up to Burlington to try out, and he forgot his hockey pants, and he asked if he could borrow mine, and I was like, yeah, if you get me a tryout. So he's like, all right. So his dad knew the coach pretty well, called him right up, was like, hey, can you get this guy a tryout too? Like he whatever, he made a deal with my son, whatever. So we end up going, I drove home, got my passport, got all my gear, went up there, and we had like a couple skill drills, and then we just did a scrimmage. After the scrimmage, the coach just came down, told me like I'm gonna play on the team next year, and I was like, all right, sweet. Like
That's how you got there. Eh? Yeah, well, as soon as they would have seen you play, they would have wanted you.
yeah.
There's actually you're not the first Burlington Cougar on the show. Andrew Dwyer, my college roommate at Western Michigan, was a Burlington Cougar, and Bobby Raymond. So there you go. Fun facts. Two shed guys. So then you did well there though, eh? So yeah, what you played 17 playoff games. So you guys almost win it or what?
Yeah, we lost game 7 in the Western Conference final there.
Oh, jeepers. That sucks, eh?
Yeah, tough bounce.
So did you like Burlington area by Toronto?
I loved it. Yeah. Had some great billets, met some great people in that city, and it's a really nice city too. It's definitely a sleeper place.
Okay. So were you getting any NCAA interest then? Because that season you had 43 points in 52 games. Usually as a D-man, that would get some interest in that league, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I had a really slow start actually to my season there, and it kind of picked up more towards
The second
right after
half.
my birthday in November. I scored my first goal right after my birthday, and after that, at that point, I was buzzing the rest of the season, and I started talking to schools probably end of November, and then I committed to Niagara December time.
So you committed to Niagara back with the Burlington Cougars.
Yeah.
Because then you still play 2 more years of junior A. Was that the plan the whole time?
No, I was supposed to go in 17, 18, but the coach at Niagara got fired. So
Changes everything, doesn't it?
yeah, and my brother was just coming up, so I got to play my last year junior with him,
Oh,
and then
that's nice.
obviously, yeah, so it worked out well.
Okay. So then when you're playing for the Burlington Cougars, seems like you get drafted to 2 different junior leagues, right? Like getting drafted to junior leagues is weird to me that like kids can't decide where they want to play. But you get drafted to the Omaha Lancers in the USHL and to Shelburne.
I don't know what Shelburne is. That
Yeah.
was in high school. I don't even know what that is. I got a phone call one day.
That you were
They said
drafted by them.
yeah, I have no idea what it is. I was like, okay.
Well, getting drafted to the USHL is a big deal though. Like that is quite the league, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really good league.
Yeah. So I guess you're on the radar even if you're in Burlington, but I guess you're committed to NCAA, so they think they got you for 1 more year, eh?
Yeah.
So then you go to Omaha, you play 27 games there, and you also play 26 games for the Odessa Jackalopes that next year, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't close to each other, are they?
No, it's about 12-hour drive that I had to do. Sucked.
So it was just one time you switch teams. It wasn't like up and down stuff.
No, just one time. I was supposed to get traded, and fell through. So I was tendered with Odessa at the start of the season. So they ended up just trading me there. So I went down there and played the rest of the year.
Okay. And then that next season, so I don't know the difference. What's the difference between the NAHL and the USHL? Is there much difference?
Yeah, I would say there's a pretty big difference. Just like speed, skill, usual stuff.
Yeah. No, yeah,
But
I don't really know much about the junior programs in the US, but
yeah,
seems like the USHL basically every player that plays there is D1, right?
yeah, I think it's like a 99% rate
That's
they have.
crazy.
Yeah.
So how did you decide on Niagara though? Were there other schools sniffing around or did you go with the first school that came sniffing?
No, I was talking to other schools. Niagara was the first place that I had a visit set up on. And it was one of those things too. Like the way I saw it was I'm gonna be living away in the next couple of years, and it's gonna be nice to go back home at the end of it all. So it was kind of like a full circle thing too, especially for me, like growing up skating there. I went to games when I was younger. Like it's pretty cool to obviously end up being able to play there.
The school that you grew up watching. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So then Odessa, what's that town like? That used to be a pro team. Now it's a junior team, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. I got a good story about that. So my coach was on the pro team there, and he was saying how they would fly guys in at night so people wouldn't see the city.
So it's not a hot spot.
No, it was a bit of a culture shock for sure. Like I've never been to Texas before, and Odessa's pretty much just an oil town, really big oil town. A lot of flat lands, not too much to do, but
Mhm.
we had a good time there.
Okay, wow. And you did well. You're one of the captains. You get 40 points your last year, eh? And that's when your brother's on the team?
Yeah, he was there probably close to half the season, and then he ended up getting traded. So
Mhm.
it was pretty
Traded
cool
your little
to.
brother,
I
eh?
actually played against him too. Yeah, I played against him too, so I got to see both sides of it.
What type of player is he? Is he similar to you?
No, he's a forward. He's a big dude. He's like 6'3", 210, and he's just a meat and potatoes guy.
Oh yeah, up and down the wing, bullying
Oh yeah,
people.
yeah,
Looks like you're a bit of a power play guy, eh? Is it you and Earhart or the 2D, one on each unit, or what?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. They used to add up the Challenge Cup points and the league points, and you had like one stat of like the whole year, which would have you at 15 points and 27 games played. That's a pretty hot start to your pro career, I'd say. Just so you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Just letting you know. So
I haven't checked. Yeah,
anyways, yeah, I didn't look that much when I was playing. Now research teams get hot. So after Odessa, then you do go to Niagara. So you're moving from Texas back home, basically. Into the dorms, then, or what?
No, so my dad ended up buying a house there.
Yeah.
And then he rented it out to some guys on the team. And then at the end of the 4 years, he sold it.
That makes a lot of
Kind
sense.
of a little investment piece.
Yeah. Smart guy. Yeah.
Smart guy.
That makes a lot of sense. Yep. I understand. Well, that's cool. So who were your roommates on the team? Same guys or no?
No, I had one who was with me for all 4 years. He's from St. Albert, and then I had one with me for 3 years from Pittsburgh, and then I had one from Montreal for 1 year, one from Winnipeg, and then one from Rochester.
See, that was when I went NCAA, it was bizarre because I ended up with roommates from all from Ontario. Like all four of us were from like an hour apart in like a box. It was crazy. And like when you're saying where all those guys are from, like that's normal NCAA is like guys are from all over the place, right? And yeah. I tell you, after those 4 years, it's hard to see them anymore.
I bet. Yeah. Especially the guys that are like, I'm sure you had European guys on your team and we
weren't dabbling into that back then, but really? It's like everybody then goes their separate ways. You go back to your hometowns, guys. Some guys keep playing hockey, and like you were best friends for 4 years. You saw each other every day, and then it's just like over.
Yeah. That's the shitty part, man.
It is, but like that is hockey, right? We do it every year. So then what else about Niagara you got to talk about? Anything? Who's your coach? Were you guys ever good?
We were really good my freshman year. We ended up making it to the finals, the Atlantic finals. Lost in overtime. Didn't play a shift in the game. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I've been a part of some of those games.
Oh, my feet hurt so bad.
That sucks, man. When you get to a game that's that big and that much fun and you don't get to participate, that's brutal.
It happens.
In college, there's definitely a lot of freshies that they just don't play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our coach was awesome. Name's Jason Lammers. He coached all over, coached for Dubuque in the USHL. Really great coach.
Okay. So yeah, I guess you play 4 years there. Your last year, you put up a lot more numbers than the other years, though, eh?
Yeah.
Was that just more ice time?
No.
Playing better?
I don't know what it was. It's a tough league, especially Atlantic gets harped on a lot. It's considered whatever you can say to be the worst conference, but there's a lot of really good players, and there's a lot of good players that are playing hard, like really hard hockey. Like it was pretty similar to the coast, in my opinion. Just how heavy guys played.
Yeah.
Not as much skill as like the out of conference games we would play, but those guys can work in that league. So I think, and obviously that doesn't really suit my style. More of think I'm a skill guy, try to be a skill guy. So I think that's kind of why I didn't put up too many points, because
playing against really guys that are just givener is very, very hard. It's like, man, you can even do it. Like when I first came back and played a little bit of old timers, you go out there against some young punks that are like really ripping around, and you're like, just stop it. Yeah, I know what you mean. So then after that good year, though, do you have an agent then? Who sets you up with the Cincinnati Cyclones?
So I didn't really talk to too many teams. And
did you have a person or a family advisor? I think they call them an agent.
No, I didn't. I was my own for a bit.
Nice.
My assistant coach actually in Burlington is now the assistant coach in Cincinnati. So he reached out and brought me in.
Yeah, it's good when you know people in hockey, right? So you go
100%.
there for 12 games, and how's the adjusting from college? I found it wild going to pro from college. It was so different, man. Like
It
you said
was.
about those guys trying really, really hard and giving her. Then I went and like the AHL was so much more methodical and like
Yeah,
positioning, and like college was just a bunch of really in shape dudes just giving her tips out there.
100%. That's the best way to put it. I was pretty nervous. Not gonna lie, for my first game, I didn't really know what to expect, and um, at the end of it, I was like, that wasn't actually too bad. Like it was a lot slower pace than I expected. The guys just make better plays and are
Yeah.
way smarter with the puck. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing I realized.
Well, you also can't like for 72 games a year, you can't rip her
You
out
can't be
like you
yeah,
do in
you can't be giving
college.
it every night.
A little bit more positioning. So one thing I found neat though is that a lot of those college kids that just leave school, they get their cup of coffee or whatever, they test them out, they see what pro hockey is, then they send them packing before playoffs. You actually got to play in the playoffs, eh? They must have liked you.
Yeah, no, I I was given a good opportunity. I ended up getting hurt after that fourth game, and then obviously didn't get back on the ice because the series ended. But
Who'd you
I
play?
just I Toledo, they were good. Yeah, I just had the mindset of going there and work as hard as I can every day, see what happens, and I got lucky. I ended up making the roster towards the end of the year, which is a big deal. So
Yeah.
um, yeah,
How was it in Cincinnati then? Because that's not too far from Daytona Beach, Ohio, where I played for the Dayton Bombers.
since he's a great city,
And it was only
but
45 minutes away from Dayton.
they used to have a team.
Oh, yeah. We went to the finals, man.
Oh, jeez, my
Yeah.
bad.
Then they went tits up not long after.
But no, since he's a it's a really good city. I was only there one time before even living there and playing there, and we would get like 10,000 a night right on
Really?
the street. Oh yeah, right next to the Cincinnati Reds stadium, and then the Bengals right down the street. So
That's
it's
cool.
a it's a really good sports city.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Reds stadium and stuff, but they definitely were not getting 10,000 fans against the Dayton Bombers. But maybe things have changed in the coast. I don't know. One guy that was on that team, though, I believe he was a Sheffield Steeler and he was a right-handed shot, good player. Jesse Schultz.
Oh yeah,
He had a
Schulte.
point a game, eh? And he's no young buck anymore.
Yeah, I think he was 39
With a
last
point a
year.
game in the
Yeah.
coast, eh? That's a gamer.
Yeah, he played in the NHL too in like 06, 07 or something. But no, he was that was the weirdest part for me. Going from college, you're with the same group of guys for 4 years, and you walk into the locker room in Cincinnati, and there's 32-year-old with family, kids,
Yeah.
39-year-old playing since I've been born. Um, that was the biggest adjustment to me. It was like learning how to connect with all different age groups there.
Definitely. And that's like me in the shed now. I'm even trying to reach out to you young punks, right?
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
But it's fun for me to get to chat with current players and then also the washed up retired guys that are also in their shed because they don't get to talk about everything they do and like they get to appreciate all the tales, but you guys are all
Oh
just
yeah,
making your tales up right
yeah,
now.
100%.
Yeah. So anyways, then let's see here. Cincinnati, the other guy that stuck out to me just because I think genetics are a thing, especially when I'm in my shed and research teams get hot and I see all the father-son shit that goes on. Justin Vive was on the team, so I click on it, and sure enough, he's Rick Vive's son, eh?
Yeah,
And that guy's
yeah,
been mucking around, eh? That Justin Vive, I'd never really heard of him somehow, but he's been mucking around the minors for a while.
100%. Yeah, he's a great hockey player. He's big on the ice. I think he's like 6'5", 6'6". He can fight. He can score. And he at the end of it too, he was probably one of the best leaders I've played for. I was only there for 12 games. Like
That's
he really
cool.
left a mark on me.
People can leave impressions like that, man. I went to
Yeah,
the AHL and Zen and Konopka. I've never like there were some things that were way too far, but like the way he was a leader, the way he kept people accountable was wild.
yeah.
Okay. So then you guys lost first round though? Is
Yeah.
that right? You got hurt. Okay. So then after that, though, you decide you want to head to Europe. You already knew, or did you think about North America again?
Yeah, I mean, I considered going back to Cincinnati, but for me, I've always wanted to play in Europe and experience. I've never been overseas before, and thought it'd be a really cool experience to obviously go live over there and see the world a bit.
So is it everything you hoped it would be so far?
100%. And I think the biggest thing about coming over here was going to a place where everybody knows English.
Yeah.
So I didn't have like that culture shock, or like it would suck every day if I had to go to the coffee shop and nobody knew English and like trying to order a coffee. Like
Well,
just want a
I did it for
double, please.
6 years, man. I went to Germany for 6 years. So you end up learning how to get around, muck it up.
Yeah,
But yeah, like speaking English with teammates, with fans, with your
100%.
bosses, with
Yeah,
the managers, with everybody when they come to interview you after a game that they're speaking English is just so it was so refreshing for me when I went there. I hear you. So anyways, then if you say it like that though, so you're still a young punk, right? First season. What would your aspirations be in pro hockey? Where do you want to get to? You can say it because it's okay to strive for something higher. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
honestly,
Just
I
enjoy
have
the
no
ride?
idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There you go. TM trademark. No,
Just
but
enjoy the ride and the chocolate, folks. Have fun at the hockey arena, right?
I I don't have any at this point. I mean, this has been my dream already, like just getting overseas and playing and just taking it day by day, and whatever happens at the end of the season, what if I get a better offer, whatever, I'll obviously consider all that
Yeah.
stuff, but for now, I'm just
Pro hockey
focused
is
on,
a day to day thing, though, man. You can have good days, you can have bad days, you can have days where the coach just hates you. Then you go
yeah,
score a couple goals, then all of a sudden he's your buddy again. Like
yeah,
pro hockey could be a real mind, you know. You
yeah,
got to just day by day, not too high, not too low, right? Trademark.
yep, 100%. Trademark.
Well, you know what? I gotta go for a meeting with the big dog here soon. So back to the real world. But you guys did get a new goalie since last Storm guy I had on. Brodeur came in. It looks like he's putting up some good numbers, eh?
Yeah, he's elite. He's a really athletic goalie, and he was a great addition to our locker room. He's a funny guy, and can't really. I would love to tell you some stuff about him because he's a fucking character. Oh, I don't know
You're
if I'm
allowed
allowed
to
to
swear.
swear.
It's okay. Yeah. No,
Sorry.
those stories are usually for after hours. We could
Yeah.
tell those. Trust me, I know way more that's going on in the hockey world than I let on. Well, all I got though is like good luck. I'm actually a big Storm fan, and I didn't really know anybody on your team at the start of the year, but then I meet Finner and Ginner, and like they're both shed guys, they're both beauties, and I'm like, well, you know what like the way it all started was I had Finner on because I played against his teams that he was coaching, and he would recruit shed guys. And then he recruits Skinner to take over for him. And I figured he'd be recruiting shed guys, and I'm not wrong, am I?
No, what is it? This is their third one now,
And I
and
had
maybe.
DeLuca on, right? He's a high scorer in the shed, man. That episode with DeLuca, which was just when he came to your team, shed boost 2 goals the next night. Um, he has been listened to without including YouTube because I don't look 838 times. That's a lot of folks in the shed to see Anthony DeLuca, you know?
I'm gonna be shooting for the thousands here, so
You
let's
should.
go
You
for it.
shoot for the top. Who's your D partner?
Ekman Larson just switched D pairs up, so.
Okay. Well, I don't know why I asked that, but cool. Well, good luck this next game. Go out there, run amok, and let's see how much chocolate hits the ice, right?
Oh yeah, let's do it, Manchester. All right.
Yeah. The
Cheers.
chocolate storm is coming, folks. And this has been another episode of Zero Ales and Hockey Tales with the Hermanator and Wally.